This is Deirdre from the Willow Path Tarot. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking all about the Willow Path Planner for 2025. I am so excited about this planner. I made it on Canva and had it printed out by an online company called PrintV, and I'll talk more about that in a minute, the printing process. But I just wanted to get on here and let you know that it is available. This is the third year that I have made the Willow Path Planner. I did not make one in 2024 due to just being a little too busy. I wanted to try out a different planner last year anyway to see if somebody else's system was something that I liked better, and it turned out that it wasn't. So I made it a point to update my 2023 planner for 2025, and I'm so excited that it's already ready. And I've made some changes since the last one, not a ton, but you'll see during the flip through that I'll do in just a few minutes that it is a little bit more condensed than it was in the past. I found that I just did not have enough time to do all of the tarot readings and all of the self-reflection and all of the planning that I had space for, and it made me feel a little bit guilty or like bad about myself that I wasn't completely filling out my planner. So I made the planner a little more condensed for this coming year. And like I said, I made it on Canva. So what you will order off my website, if you would like a copy, is a digital PDF. And you can print out that PDF at home, or you could take it to a print shop, or you could use it digitally. If you use the free version of Adobe, or if you have some other PDF reader, you can actually write or type right in the digital document if you want to have a digital planner instead of printing it out. Like I said, I used a company called PrintV.com, so that's PRINTVIE.com. I don't know why I'm spelling this out for you. I don't actually recommend using this company. Like, I'm pretty psyched with how this turned out. I like the binding. It seems like, I mean, it's nothing special, but it's like your regular notebook kind of binding, and I wanted something that would lay completely flat and that I'd be able to have just one page up. So I liked this binding. They just had kind of not the best customer service. Like, I ordered a proof and they just sent me back a picture of my PDF, and I was like, that's not a proof, that's just what I sent you. And then it took them maybe 3 or 4 weeks to print it when they said it would take 7 days. And then I don't think they used 40-pound like paper weight that I asked for. It feels just like regular printer paper, which is a little bit see-through, but it's fine. I'm just gonna write on it in a ballpoint pen anyway, so it'll work just fine. And it actually came out great. If you want to use them, it was very affordable. I paid $57, including the shipping, to print this out, which is much cheaper than the planner I bought from another company last year. But obviously you can find a planner at Target or TJ Maxx for way less. So it's not the cheapest thing to print out, but you can look around for different websites, different deals, and I think you could probably print it out for about $50 or $60. Or if you have a home printer or a work printer. I used to print mine out at work, you know, because I had unlimited printing there, and that was great. And what I used to do is print it out, this is my 2023 one, in a 3-ring binder. So this is, I think, a 1.5 inch 3-ring binder. And what I love about that is, like, you can put like little things in the front, so it can be a little bit scrapbooky, and then you can add pages. Like if you wanted to write your tarot readings out longhand, and then you could just add them in here if there wasn't enough space provided. So another great way I found of printing it out and using it is the 3-ring binder. But I want to try something different this year, and I found last year I used a 3-ring binder planner, and I liked that. I liked having it all kind of more compact. Like, obviously this is a lot smaller than this, so it's nice to just be able to like grab this. I can throw it in my purse or backpack if I'm going out somewhere and I want to plan. It is in black and white, so the whole thing's in black and white. Obviously, you could print it out in a color if you want. The only thing that ended up being purple is this line. I don't know, I couldn't turn it black and white, and on the company I used, the cover, it was the same price to have it black and white as color, so it just ended up being in color. But that line can easily be black. A little bit of a oops on my part, but that's fine. I'm gonna do a flip through. I'm gonna cut to the flip through pretty quickly here, but what I just wanted to say is that this planner is for people who, like me, like to plan using the tarot and also the phases of the moon. So it has tarot readings for each new moon and full moon, and also 2 for the beginning of the year. And it also has space to write intentions with the moon, and just forgiveness and letting go practices with the moon cycles. So that's kind of why I made my own personal planner, because I hadn't found one that did this specific way of working with the tarot and the moon, and having like daily space to write lists and weekly spaces to track habits and monthly spaces to set goals. So it's a little bit of a, probably not for everyone's system, but definitely for me and hopefully for you. So let us now cut over to the flip through and you can see the whole thing. All right, let's start the flip through. I'm excited. So there's the cover, which I've already seen. It opens with a little welcome, and there are some page numbers here. You'll notice that it stops with 14. I did not number every single page of the planner. There's 195 pages, and I just didn't get around to it. That's something that I would like to do in the future, and then this will be a little bit longer. So it starts out with reflections. So things like what matters to you, what is it like to be you at the beginning of 2025. So just some kind of setting the scene, self-reflection questions to get you into your next step, which is intention setting. So there's a little bit about what that is, and then some space to write your intentions for 2025. Next, there's 2 pages for goal setting. There's some kind of motivational questions, a little brainstorming area, and then you can take your brainstorm and kind of categorize it here. So you could put just your top goals for kind of your work or your relationship, that kind of thing, on this page. And this will be good for you to come back to at the beginning of each month and be like, what were my goals for the whole year? And you'll have this page to reference back to. You'll see later the monthly goal setting. Then there is a 2025 New Year tarot spread. So there's questions for it, and a spread layout if you need it, and then just space to write out the cards that you pick and your interpretation of the cards. Next is a word of the year. So there's a little place to brainstorm or doodle or try different words out, and then a box to pick your favorite word for the year if that's something that you're into. Next I have 100 things to do in 2025. I didn't write to do because it's not a to-do list, it's an inspiration list. So you could write at the beginning of the year 100 things that you really want to do this year that you think would be fun or you think would be meaningful. Another way to use this is at the end of each month, you'll see I have a wrap-up section, and you could write the things that you did do here so that you could see 100 things that you did do during the year. So there's a couple ways to use it. So that's a lot of things, 2 pages. And then the last thing for the setting up the year part is a 12-month ahead tarot spread. So what I do with this one is just pick 1 card for each month of the year. I like to pick them all at once in January, and then I write down the card and the meaning, and then I'll come back to this at the end of each month and write how I think that card played out in my experience. So that's just kind of another fun tarot spread that's in here at the beginning. And then we have the monthly layout. So there's a full page calendar. I like to write birthdays in here or trips or just anything really. I like to have a digital calendar on my phone, but also use this calendar on a daily basis. If you're not a digital person, it's easy to just write it down and look at it. Plus you can put stickers on it. And then also each month, this is your monthly goal setting section. So I like to pick 3 goals for the month. I'll just write the goal out. I'll write a little, maybe reasons why I want to do the goal so I can kind of connect with, you know, my motivation. It's good to connect with the reasons behind our goals. And then there's just 5 action steps. So you can kind of break down your goal into some smaller actions so that you can make progress over the month. And what else I do here is there's a place to write your new moon intentions, which I'll show you where I get those later, but I'll write out my intentions from the last new moon, that tarot card for the month that I picked at the beginning of the year from those pages. And I like to do a new positive habit each month. Might not be for you. Maybe you have the new positive habit for the year and you could write the same thing each month there, but each month I tend to like to think of a new thing I'd like to incorporate into my routine or just make a daily practice or reinvest my energy in that I might have once done and no longer do. So they could be a little bit cyclical if something doesn't stick. And here's just a little place to write maybe some important monthly to-dos that don't make it into your goal list of action items. I like to pick a first class upgrade. It's a Denise Duffield Thomas concept of what in your life needs to be upgraded. So it could be something really simple. It's usually physical. So it could be like, I want to upgrade the food I buy. I want to buy better apples next month. It's a silly example, but usually once a month, I like to try and pick something that is worn out or that is no longer serving me and be like, it's time to upgrade that. I also like to do something new each month. So it could be as simple as going on a walk in a new place or trying a new restaurant, that kind of thing. And then artist dates / self-care for this month. So Artist Dates is a Julia Cameron Artist's Way concept in which you give yourself time to just be creative and free of goals. Kind of, it's like a non-goal space, so just act creatively, do something for the sake of doing it instead of trying to get to a goal. So an artist date could be something like, for me, going to the thrift store would be an artist date and just being like, I don't know what I need, but I just want to look around and see what's here. Or going to a museum, like an art museum, and like looking at the art. Or it could just be going to a bookstore and like randomly looking at books. An artist date is really an undefined thing that makes you feel creative. And I also think about it as being self-care. That's why I wrote that there. And then we get into the weekly layout. So for each week of the month, I have the same layout. So there'll be one of these pages. The only thing that changes are the dates, and I do add the new and full moon on the day that they happen. So you'll see the date here and the date here, and those are really the only things that change from page to page on the week spreads. And I've got each day broken up into morning, afternoon, and evening. And you don't have to use that. You could just write out whatever you want to do during the day without breaking it up into times. But I like, sometimes I really need to structure it, especially if I'm working 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day. I need to know, like, I can physically see, like, this little slice in the morning and this little slice in the evening is my only free time. So what could I possibly fit in there? If I can't write it in there, it probably doesn't fit. I like to have the full week, to see the full week too, versus some planners where you might only see a couple days, because I just work in weeks. Like, I will write over here weekly priorities and just other to-dos for the week. So then throughout the week, when I'm writing like, what do I need to do today? I can reference like, oh, these are my priorities for the week. I want to make sure that I'm moving towards them. And these are like some things, little things I want to get done. Like, oh, the laundry would be like down here, unless it was a massive priority, which it usually isn't. But so that helps me, this list area helps me kind of plan out the week. And I'll write, you know, everything that's happening during the week. Sometimes I'll go back to this page and look to make sure, okay, I've got, you know, say I wrote all the birthdays on here, I'd also write them here. Some other little things that are on this are, you can set an intention for each day. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll just write the same one every day, like from my new moon intentions. If it's something like really simple, I'll be like, or if it's my positive habit, and I'll be like, meditate each day, or like 5 deep breaths. That's the intention and that's the practice. And then at the end of each day, there is a little gratitude section. You don't have to do it at the end. You could start your day by filling this out, but I like to do it at the end, while I also do a little mood check-in. So there's a little smiley face range. It's very simplistic, but if you were trying to track your mood over maybe a moon cycle or a menstrual cycle, or just in general, that's a place you can do it. And then at the end of the month, there's a place where you can kind of assess your mood for the month. Other things are the positive habit tracker. So you might just have one that you're working on and you can kind of tick off each day that you do it. Or you might have like a series of things that you're working on that you want to make sure you do each day, or you want to see how often you do them. Like, how often do you drink your 8 glasses of water? Or how often do you exercise or hang out with friends, or whatever it is that you want to kind of track, so you have that data over time. And I like to write, if something really good happens, I'll write it here. Little highlights of the week. That's just a fun thing to do, so that at the end of the month when I'm wrapping up, I can be like, oh, these are the things that I had the most fun doing or felt the most gratified about this week. And then here, this is just kind of a free space where you can write ideas, lessons you've learned, reflections. Sometimes I'll write little quotes there that I've read, and I'm like, oh, I want to remember that. Just, you know, any old thought, you can put it here and you'll have a record of it. So next I'm going to show you, this is the last week of January. And then each month also includes a full moon page and a new moon page. So these will tell you, you know, when is the full moon that month, the date and time. This is an Eastern Standard Time because I'm in Vermont and that is what I use. For the full moon, there's a little releasing and letting go invitation. It'll tell you what's good for releasing and letting go under the specific moon. Like each month this will change. And then what do you want to let go of or release? What do you want to forgive? This is the same each month. And then there is a spread, a tarot spread for each full moon. And these are questions down here at the bottom that you can use or not use. You know, if you want to create your own full moon and Cancer spread, you could do that. And here's a little space to write what cards you got. And the same goes for the new moon. You'll have the date and time. You'll have major themes, some actions that are good for the new moon, and then a tarot spread. And for the new moons, I do a little bit more work. That's just part of my practice. Like I like to spend more time at a new moon because it's like a fresh beginning, and the full moon is more of a check-in on how you're doing. So I have reflection questions. Some of them are here. You can use any of these questions to make a nice tarot spread and then write your card interpretations down here. And then also this page is also for the new moon as well. So like I was saying before, at the beginning of the month, I have that your intentions from the last new moon box on each goal page for the month. And these are based upon the tarot cards I drew, kind of my energy at the new moon, and I'll write out what my intentions are. These are a couple questions like, what were your intentions from the last month? How'd that go? And then what do you want to do moving forward? There's, what would you like to feel more of in this moon cycle? What would you like to feel less of? And what would you like to be true about yourself in a month? So if you're into working with the new moon, this is a really fun system. of pulling cards, self-reflection, and setting intentions for the moon month ahead, the moon cycle that is coming, and using the astrology, the zodiac sign for that new moon to help you do it. It's very effective, very fun. And then the last thing for each month is a monthly wrap-up. What I like to write 10 accomplishments from the month, then the major highlights. So like I was saying, if you write, you know, in these weeks, you might see, oh, I accomplished these priorities, and then you'll be like, all right, I'm gonna write them down as accomplishments here. If you wrote highlights, you can pick your favorite highlight and write it here. Progress to celebrate is often based upon my habit tracking. Like, did I make progress on my habits, but also did I make progress on the goals that I set here? Like, did I check off these boxes or not? Then I'll write a lesson learned this month, which you might have some that you wrote here, or you might at the end of the month just feel like, oh, I really learned something this month. And then what didn't happen this month? Do you want to make it happen next month? And what actions could you take to make it happen? What fears, blocks, or obstacles came up this month? And then what are you most grateful for this month? So this page is always the same for each month. And that's really how the planner works. Like, you'll see, oh, it's exactly the same for February. You'll have your monthly calendar, goal sheets, weekly sheets, the full moon and the new moon sheets, intention setting, and a wrap up. So that's every month of the year is like that. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited to just write on this like there's no tomorrow. Fill the whole thing out. And the only thing that changes is at the very, very end, after the December wrap up, there is a reflecting on 2025 section. Just a couple pages, not too long, because I like to do most of my kind of planning energy for the next year. So I'll probably wrap up real quick, and then I'll get too excited about planning 2026 and I'll want to move on and get to that planner. So this page, I mean, it's not like it's going to be neglected. I didn't want to make it too complicated because I know that I tend to just want to bounce on to the next year because I get so excited about planning. So, yep. And then there's the last page is blank and the back cover. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that walkthrough of the Willow Path Tarot Planner 2025.
All right, thank you so much for watching this video, liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and for your interest in the 2025 Willow Path Tarot Planner. If you have any questions, you can email me at thewillowpathtarot@gmail.com, and you can find the planner on thewillowpathtarot.com. It's under readings or stationery. So thewillowpathtarot.com/stationery or thewillowpathtarot.com/readings. And you will also see the other stationery items that I make from my handmade botanical monoprints, and you'll see the readings that I have on offer, including the 2025 year ahead tarot reading that is in here. If you would like to have me do it, I'm available for that, both online, we can do it through video chat, or I do email readings. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you the next time I make a video. Happy planning!